We return, continuing on our adventure for the next episode of Season 2. That's going to be Part 3, The Dragon's Reach. Now, we're beginning here with Ulfric, who has returned in the interim between the two releases to the Shiver Peak Mountains. And maybe we could say he's here at Sootburn consulting with the Pact. This is one of the cooler outposts because it has access to both a bank and a trading post, which makes it kind of a cool hub of activity, even though it's in a really weird area of the world. And, you know, it's the Shiver Peaks, sure, it's Mount Maelstrom, it's very far away from where maybe Ulfric started out on his journey, but it's a cool place to come to nonetheless. So there's quite a lot to talk about here. You've opened the video seeing the trailer for this next episode, but I've actually cut it a little bit early because I think that their release trailer is a bit spoilery this time, and, well, I'll talk about what that is later. There's going to be some twists and turns in this one. Let's just leave it there. So, yeah, let's continue on. First thing that we need to do is actually buy it. Whoa, my instinct there was to go to Season 3 for some reason. Season 2. We're going to pick up the Dragon's Reach Part 1. Now, if I go over to the trading post, as I've been logging in, I've been getting mystic coins for my dailies, for just logging in, sorry, not even doing anything. And by selling them, I got 50 gold. 50 gold will be enough to bump me back over the amount that I need. So we're going to come here, and we're just going to get rid of the 400. I'm so bad at typing in this. I seem to have forgotten how backspace works, genuinely. All right, now it's 75 gold. You can see that the price is fluctuating a little bit. That largely depends on what's happening in real life and how many other players are buying gems at the time and what they're spending. You'll see we're actually down to only 20 gold now, so really, as we play, we want to be paying attention there. Moving down, though, let's check it out. The Dragon's Reach Part 1. With an Elder Dragon's corruption spreading, the heroes of Tyria set out in an attempt to gather allies to meet this new threat. But, with problems of their own close to home, will world leaders add their support or just introduce more challenges? That's the theme. It's a big politics episode in a certain sense, and so we get to start out. Now, I thought it'd be kind of fun as well, as we run into this, to talk a bit about what else was going on with Guild Wars 2 at the time. So this was a period of time where they were really pushing PvP a lot. A lot of the blog posts and announcements from the devs are talking about something called the Tournament Legends that was going on. I won't go into full details about, but just to give you guys an idea, there were gem store updates too, and over the last patch, very recently, they did, if we go to our wardrobe, and we look at just the weapon skins, they added a new set of weapons between the two patches called the Leyline weapons. Now, Ulfric doesn't have any of these, I'm afraid. It'd be kind of cool to run around and use them. We haven't changed very much. But you'll notice they're very, very flashy. At this point in Guild Wars, a lot of the prestige items are generally getting legendaries or really expensive stuff from the Mystic Forge. But you can start to see, if you were buying gems in the way I just did here, or with real-world money or whatever you wanted to do, you could get stuff themed with the patches that was all pretty cool, right? There was Ambrite stuff for actually playing and doing stuff deliberately in dry top, but for just generic gold and turning it into gems, you can get this leyline stuff, which is kind of themed after the chamber we're in, which is pretty nice. And in addition to that as well, there was a finisher. Again, it was a very PvP oriented time. If we come over here and we just type leyline, again, I don't have it, but I can preview it for you guys. We get this, which is actually one of the cooler finishes in the game. There's a really prominent sound effect there that you can hear if I wasn't blabbering over it anyway. And yeah, it's pretty nice. So what I will say as well is if we go to outfits, well, Ulfric only has one. There were some outfits being released. The newest one as of this release was this, the Shadow Assassin. But I don't think that's very appropriate for going to visit all the world leaders. Funnily enough, right around the game's 3rd anniversary, we're a little bit early for, but right around there was this given to accounts who were 3 years old, but specifically as well, people who made accounts right around the start. So, Ulfric does have this. And I thought, hey, it'd be cool to kind of change the way we look a little bit. Maybe we can dye it. We haven't worn an outfit for a long time, but this might be a little bit more appropriate. So here, we'll change that red into green. Since, in fact, let's use our rare green. Didn't we get a rare green before? We did. It was the spring grass. So let's get spring grass here. You can see the rope comes out a little bit more there. And then maybe that other bit that's red, we can go, that's blue right now, we can turn to red. Does that look good? People are going to hate my fashion wars. They always do. I'll leave it. All right, I'll leave it just by going green. We're green and blue combo. People are going to not like this. But anyway, this just makes us look a little bit fancier. You know, I could actually show you my headpiece as well. With the outfit on, and it's not going to look like the wolf headpiece. It's going to be an actual, you know, like little helmet there. I guess I'll keep that one off. In fact, you know what would be probably pretty good is if the bit that I made green, I actually did to the red dots, and I left the other one as is. Maybe. I mean, that would just be blue again. Maybe we can just make that pastel lemon. Does that look very rangery? Do you know what? Brown looks rangery. There, we'll do that. There you go. That looks pretty rangery. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I thought it'd be pretty cool to run around in that, just give you guys a sense of what else was going on. Of course, as we start the episode as well, our challenge continues. I have to lose 2 more bits of gear. So if we stick with the right-hand side, then what we can do is just lose attributes. I'm scared to get rid of any underwater stuff. I mean, the aquatic headpiece is probably a good thing to get rid of. Since any underwater combat, our armor in there isn't a great idea. So I'll unequip this, and then I will get rid of possibly, I would say the backpack, genuinely. But then we're going to lose the actual backpack, and I need to buy backpack straps from somewhere and transmute it. I can't be able to do all that. So we will just get rid of one of the earrings. So basically, enemies are just going to be a bit tankier here as far as the next episode will go. Hopefully, it's not going to be too challenging. This episode is really a bit of a world tour. I like the format on this one. Feels kind of Season 1-y in that it's not all just about the new hot stuff over at Dry Top. And when I say hot, I don't just mean climate. Okay, all right, let's go on in to the new episode. And see what our opening mail is. Rallying call. Check our mail. It's from Kazmit. And she says that the Pale Tree will see us. My dear Ulfric Romkerson, the Pale Tree has agreed to an audience, but she wishes to speak with you personally. I'm already in the grave of Brown and Rocks. We'll wait for you here. Please come at your earliest convenience. So, in the time in the middle, what can we assume has happened? Well, Kazmir's consoled Marjorie to a certain degree. Remember in that vision, we heard that we seemed to be at the center of everything. So the Pale Tree is now asking for us personally. Maybe she knows of this vision in some way. The thing with the Sylvari, right, is that they kind of feed back into the dream all the time. They feed back to the Pale Tree all the time. So whatever Scarlet saw, whatever happened with her, maybe the Pale Tree is quite privy to. And the idea of this machine, all the time that Kiara was working with Omad, who knows how much of that the Pale Tree managed to pull in for themselves. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Not much more for it, really, except to move on. Now, I have figured out what pet is in Dry Top. There is a pet. I just don't know exactly where. I have a feeling we might have ran past it in one of the Oasis-y areas. And in fact, you guys might have spotted it and left in the comments in one of the recent videos as well, and I just haven't seen yet. But we will, we'll see if we can go get it. It is a pet that I don't have yet. We did obviously get a couple in Ore. I do not have the one that is in Dry Top, so it should be pretty cool. And I don't know who we'll replace. Maybe Alson, just because Alson has a very unoriginal name. I'm sorry, Alson. I do like owls. They're one of the coolest creatures to me, IRL. I think they're so awesome. I love looking at GIFs of owls hunting and just how they're like the silent bombers of the natural world. They're brilliant. Anyway, yeah, so let's move on up. I think we look dressed for the part, you know? We look pretty good. And hopefully we see some good stuff. So, rallying call. What does the Pale Tree think? And this is one of those things where the story around now, I think so many people were taken with the Sylvari when the game came out and thought the Sylvari stuff was delivered so well that when it came to Season 1 and 2, the devs really wanted to keep giving you lots of Sylvari stuff. Lots of it. And you can still kind of feel it now, right? Like, the writers of this time were big Sylvari fanboys and fangirls. And so we get a lot of it. All right, so, yeah, Rox, Bram, Kazmir, hello. What do you guys have to say? We'll wait here so that you can talk to the Pale Tree in private. Oh, and Marjorie sends her regards, by the way. So you saw her? Yeah, she's okay. I missed the funeral, but I got to spend a little bit of time with her. She'll be back with us soon. See this? Kazmir missed the funeral. So what does that mean? That means Kazmir never really met much of Marjorie's family off screen. It keeps the mother in the background, doesn't it? I'm telling you guys, the mother is E. I'm glad to hear that. All right, lovely. I really don't like the way they're telegraphing the options. The game gets really consistent and really good about telegraphing stuff later. And whenever you click a button with an icon like this, it means the game's about to progress. So it's really weirding me out, but I'll trust that nothing's going to happen until I go over to the avatar. Hi, how are you feeling? Any residual gunk left over after Omad's device got its sparks on you? Nothing physical. Just worried about the Morgemore situation. Me too. Here's hoping this can bring us help. If she's as powerful and as wise as you say, then your discussion with her will be interesting. It's weird. We never really mentioned the Pale Tree, but okay. Very true. And then Bram, he says, hey, I heard from Taimi. She's gone back to Ratasum. Apparently she has schooling to catch up on, the little vagabond. Now, this is a weird thought. Okay, we've spent a good amount of time now in Season 2. And we spent a reasonable amount of time with her at the end of Season 1, where she was off in the Shiver Peaks and she was around Lion's Arch. She was doing whatever she wanted. And now we get this random weird moment about how she's at school still. She's got schooling to catch up on. Now, we do know various things about how the colleges work at Ratasum, but it's a very strange realization that I think this is the only time the game ever really nods to. When exactly Timey properly leaves school and just full-on starts adventuring with us, I'm not sure there's an explicit line drawn in the sand. It's just, I think this is the one and only main reference to like, oh yeah, she's a little kid, maybe she should go home now. So, yeah, the little vagabond. I'm glad she'll be safer there. Thanks for coming. And don't forget, last episode, guys, both in terms of videos and in the game episodes, don't forget that she mentioned she had an idea about making waypoints efficient. And we'll see whether anything comes with that. I'm glad. She'll be safer there. Thanks for coming. Are you kidding? I wouldn't miss this for the world. We don't have talking trees where I'm from. Dude, I'm from where you're from. And let's see. Yeah, you are right. I don't remember any talking trees in the Shiver Peaks. I mean, there are oak hearts, and there's like spirits of oak heart. Well, there's probably spirit of the wild representing the tree to some extent, right? It's just not a greater spirit of the wild. Anyway, I'll let you know what the pale tree says. Cool. We, of course, do have the tablet again, and we can grab the POI. Unfortunately, the devs don't let us interact with it quite often in these story instances.
Hello, Casimir. I've been hearing a lot about you. You're the one who unveiled the Nightmare Tower, aren't you?
That was a team effort. I wouldn't have made it out alive without my friends. Especially this one here.
Hello. I heard you fought Zaitan beside Kaith. It's an honor to meet you. Our beloved mother is ready to see you. If you would follow me.
Yeah, we don't get to interact with the tablet, but hey. This is interesting. You might think, why does everyone not love us so much? Well, you got to remember, each culture will interpret the fall of Zaitan differently, and these guys are thinking of Kaith as the bigger deal, and we were just with Kaith. It wasn't much more than that, you know? Also, yeah, Casimir unveiling the Nightmare Tower. Remember when she did that? There was some reference that she was part of, like, a mesmeric society. And we also have that power from early in Season 2, where we found out that she could detect people lying. It's interesting, on one of the developer streams, they suggested that that was going to be a big thing for her story going forward, that she'll be able to detect people lying. That turns out to just be nonsense. I'm just going to tell you guys now. I don't know why the dev said that. In the 6 years since this story came out, or 5 years since this story came out, to be fair, that has not once been a plot point again. It's just she's a mesmer, so she could tell people are lying. Really led the community astray as well. Anyway, so yeah, let's move on over. Hello, Pale Tree.
What a delight to see you.
Please, allow me to present your guest, Destroyer of Zaitan and Commander of the Pact.
I am eager to hear what it is you wish to discuss.
So you may have detected at the start of that conversation there, she kind of acted like she didn't know me. It was like, oh, welcome, I'd like to introduce, you know, it was like a first-time introduction. If we were Caraflower, a Sylvari, you might think, well, obviously they wouldn't do that because they will have known each other. The funny thing is, they kind of have to go that way because ArenaNet don't know Ulfric's backstory. It is possible that as a Norn, who's now playing Season 2, Ulfric had never met the Pale Tree, so that dialogue would have to work. The thing is, Ulfric has met the Pale Tree. We came here during the personal story to see that vision of awe, remember? And show Trahearne that he could be more than just a scholar, and we had a big moment here with the tree. The tree showed us both. So here's what happens. They have that dialogue as though we're just meeting, and now when we interact, she says, I know you. You were with Trahearne, and you accompanied on him into his vision of the Pact's future. So they've got like lots of layers to work through here, really. Ulfric Romkerson, it's good to see you looking so well. Yes, it's been a long time. And you, so lovely as always. I mean, the Sylvari already felt quite special in core, if you think about it. There was no moment where everyone went to see Newt Whitebear, right? We didn't all go to consult with the Norn and find some great thing. But every player, no matter what your background, did come to see this character here, did come to the Pale Tree. Kaith has spoken your name to me in her Tales of Zaitan's Demise. You run with Destiny's Edge. Now, this is interesting too, because we kind of don't run with Destiny's Edge. We haven't seen them since the Dungeons storyline, really. And even the Dungeons storyline was only half of the initial adventure. Nowadays, we hang with this lot that is just hanging out there. Like a bunch of misfits that are just pawing at the ground and looking around, wondering what to do awkwardly. I did for a while. Now I lead a new group. Yes, so it is said. I suspect you'll do even greater deeds with them. But tell me, and I think a lot of people at this point in the game as well were wondering if it was a bit tacky to replace Destiny's Edge with a new kind of Destiny's Edge, like a new adventuring group? Was it really necessary? Because we still kind of have one of each race and whatnot. I think that really, behind the scenes, the story might have been something to do with the voice acting talent and whatnot, and the schedules and the regularity that these people would have to be called in to do lines on a whim. So they got these new characters that could be voiced by smaller time talent at the time. And that doesn't mean Destiny's Edge won't still be around and won't do things. We're going to see them in short order, believe me. But as regular occurrences, it's kind of the new team. That's what I've always thought, anyway. Okay, what brings you here seeking my counsel? Well, two things. First, I had a vision, and you figured prominently in it. I'm intrigued. Tell me more. What it was about. Where did you have this vision? I had it in an Asuran device Scarlet used to see the eternal alchemy. I saw it too. What dangers have you been toying with? Such things were not meant to be seen. They will crack your mind. So she seems to believe that there are certain stuffs off the table people shouldn't know. Is that how she treats the Sylvari? I didn't understand much of the vision, but you were at the center. If this was the device that Kiara used, I like how she uses the name Kiara here instead of Scarlet as well, then it must have maintained some of her touch upon it. But I do not know what it could mean. Only you can know that. Maybe in time. Well, what about Mordramoth? This is point number 2, I guess. You know it's been active?
It is true. The elder dragon Mordramoth has reached full awareness.
No.
I've known since the moment we heard the roar. Lokin, would you kindly find Niam and ask her to come to speak with me?
Of course. I'll return with her as quickly as I can.
Niam is one of the firstborn.
I had to send him away. What we have to discuss is too serious. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Tell me, what do you know about Mordramoth?
What do you know about Mordramoth? It sounds like she there has told her Sylvari about Mordramoth and we just didn't know. Maybe she's only told a few Sylvari. Maybe only the firstborn know about it. She does, remember, if you think about Cadian's story, she really only seems to favor the firstborn in a big way. Right, what do we know about Mordramoth? Well, she says, please, Ulfric, tell me all you know of Mordramoth's activities. I've been waiting to see how it would make its move while reinforcing our security here in the Grove. So she's been ready for it. Well, what would have triggered the awakening of this dragon? Well, we say it's been killing people. It attacked Fort Salma and Fort Concordia. And its minions, they've spread far. We encountered them to the east and west, as close as Brisbane Wildlands. So soon, and so close. This does not bode well. Please continue. Salma and Concordia were destroyed by its giant thorn vine. This is troubling news. There's more. The minions are attracted to waypoints. They destroy them. I understand. The situation is dire. If the Elder Dragon's reach is that great, the entirety of Tyria is at risk. What do you recommend we do? Well, we need to inform the world leaders and get them to join ranks. I see. A summit, then. I could host such a gathering, if you can convince them to come. Who do you plan to invite? So, immediately the Avatar is on board. One of the leaders, don't even have to try and convince. And that's very Sylvari. I like that. Even still, she'll help. Like, we've got a good venue now, right? A high venue. We can't just say, yeah, come to the Dead End Bar, everyone. They won't do that, but they will come here. Who do you plan to invite? Well, we are Norn, so Newt Whitebear, of course. And a leader from each of the other races. I'll leave it in your hands while I prepare here. You did the right thing bringing this to me. I'm happy to help you. My friends and I will do whatever we must to get them all here. So we're kind of in a Guild Wars 1 story here, right? It's like the Eye of the North plot. We got to get all the races together. Once again, I'm going to go to the Norn to try and get their assistance. But, you know, Eye of the North had a whole arc about how you can't just get a leader of the Norn on board. Like, Norn speak for themselves and work for themselves. And now here Guild Wars 2 is, years after Eye of the North, trying to do the exact same story. Will they honor the commitment they made in the first game that Norn are trickier than that? I guess we'll see. Because they don't dedicate the whole season to just recruiting one race. We're trying to get them all at once, so how much due diligence the story can pay to each race is going to be tricky. You know, that's a totally other idea of how ArenaNet could have handled the Living World. It could have been, instead of focusing on, like, the new dragon, it could have been focused on, like, each race, trying to get them on board, sort of thing. And, you know, dragons would have to be threats, obviously.
That seemed to go well. She agreed to play hostess. What do we do now?
Well, we go find people. Casimir says, what's the plan? Well, get the world leaders here. With her name in the summit, they might just come, but who and how? Well, we'll split up. Get to whomever you can, the highest ranking in your home city. So, you want me to get someone from Divinity's Reach? The Queen? And Rox is going to the Black Citadel? And Bram will go to Holbrook. I'll help you all. We can do it together. That's a comfort. Thanks. Alright, we can do this. Yes, we can.
I won't get an audience with the Queen, but I can speak with Countess Anise.
Nervous? I know you've had, issues with your people?
No, I'm fine. I just haven't had to speak with Countess Anise or the Queen for a while. Not since my father.
I suppose I'll have to toughen up and talk to Tribune Brimstone. I won't get anywhere near Smoter.
Yeah, and I'll have to return to Holbrook. Last time I saw Whitebear, my mother was there.
We can do this. It's important. And afterward, we'll meet up again.
Not every battle is fun, I suppose. Before I head to Holbrook, I should find Taimi. She's in Radasum. Maybe she can talk to Zojja about getting an Asuran leader at the summit.
But in their mind, she's just a student. No one there pays much attention to her.
I know, but she's got Zojja's ear. It's worth a shot. If she fails, we'll send in the boss to convince Zojja. They're friends.
Well, we have everything covered. Send word to each other when things are squared away, yes?
Deal. Guess all we have to hope for is that everyone agrees to show up.
Once we get them in one place, we can worry about convincing them to join forces.
The world coming together in support of a single cause? Yeah, that'll happen.
Ugh.
Oh, rocks. Please.
Brilliant. So I've received a note from Taimi called Morgemoth's Reach. Now, if you might have noticed there, a bird did fly across the screen like a little white dove, just like when you get a mail in the game. Pretty nice. Before we read this, just a note. I think the Asura are definitely the hardest to get on board here. Because there is no, like, one ear you can pull. It's like a collaborative governing body that we know from the personal story to be corrupt in numerous ways. And we don't even have, like, a good hero alongside us that will work for that. Zojja, we spent very minimal time with. Zojja wasn't really on board with the Destiny's Edge reunification thing until the last moment before. We haven't seen really anything of her for a long time. And what have we got? Like a little girl? I know, I kind of like that line there where Casimir says, in their eyes, she's just a kid. No, not in their eyes. She is just a kid. Like, I really don't believe that we have a good way of getting in there. The closest connection is us as a friend of Zojja. But even then, even if we get her, it's still going to be a real challenge. Like, what do? You bring all of the Arcane Council? It's tricky. Also, I like that little moment with both Rox and Bram where we remember the first experiences really we had with those characters are kind of being brought up there. Rox, estranged, wanting to get into the Stone Warband, doing what she could to try and get in Ritlock's good graces, and then right at the end of Season 1, instead of bagging Scarlet for herself and getting the warband, she chooses not to. You know, so she's not on his good side, and she says, oh, I have to toughen up and see him. It's a nice little reminder of that. And Bram, the first time we ever saw Bram, I think, he was seeking refuge and was sort of denied and went off to Kragstead, right? Or he wasn't seeking refuge. He was seeking help against the steam vents and stuff, right? And anyway, so he hasn't seen Newt since then. All right, the note. You've received a note from Taimi titled Morgemoth's Reach. Hello! The Asuran news updates are saying that Vines... Why are we getting it in this UI, by the way, instead of the actual mail UI? I don't know. The Asuran news updates, look at that. There is such a thing as the Asuran news, guys. We need to get some fan project that does YouTube videos pretending to be the Asuran news. Are saying that vines matching the recent attacks at Fort Concordia and Fort Sama have appeared, in the Iron Marches. So, Iron Marches really doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing right now, so that's good. I mean, it's this map all the way over here. This is probably one of the most remote places in the game as far as Ulfric's concerned. Like, his only way to get there would be to go from Kragstead, through Diessa, down in this corner, through Plains of Ashford, up through Blaze Ridge, background, or we could go the Frostgorge route. It's so far away, and yet Morgemoth's there, apparently. Or his vines, anyway. If this proves true, Morgemoth's Reach may be even greater than any anticipated. Yeah, that's even way beyond the Shiver Peaks. I surmise that it's in our best interest for you to investigate these reports. You know what's kind of interesting? What if Morgemoth is, like, off in other continents we can't even see right now, you know? I better let the others know about this. Okay, discuss with Casimir. Was that letter from Marjorie? No, sorry, from Taimi. They've spotted Mordrum in the Iron Marches area. The Iron Marches, says Rox. Sorry to butt in, but did she mention the Black Citadel? Have they been hit? She didn't say more than that, but I'm going to go investigate. That's a good idea. The more information we have, the better. I'll head to Divinity's Reach and request an audience with Countess Anise. Good luck. Meet me at the Leyline Hub after you speak with the Countess. I'll come as soon as I know something. Great, thanks, Casimir. So, yeah, my instinct here, to be honest, playing the game, is that we don't have to worry about that, but Ulfric, ever the hero, instead decides to go running on over there. I really think meeting the world leaders is more important than just seeing a couple more vines, but hey, they could be sowing death and destruction and all this kind of other stuff. Here we get a great line from Bram. He says, I suppose Newt Whitebear is sort of our leader, in a way. He's not going to leave the Shiver Peaks easily, though. Are you going to have to see your mother? Probably. Whitebear definitely won't leave Holbrack without her agreement, so we'd be smart to get her on our side first. I'll go on ahead and do some scouting. Yeah, see, if that's true, we could get Air very comfortably ourselves. We're very good friends with Air. We know Air extremely well. But this is actually the first that I've heard of Newt really caring a massive amount about Air in particular. But hey, alright, let me know when you're ready and I'll join you. What about you, Rox? I'll send word when I have a meeting arranged with Tribune Brimstone so you can meet me. I admit I don't want to face him alone. Is he still mad because you didn't kill Scarlet when you had the chance? That's unclear. But if he is, then he very well could tear my throat out to make an example of me. I won't let that happen. I like how brutal Ritlock's still kind of being written. At least when he's not around. I think our best shot is to talk to a niece. If anyone can get the Queen's ear, it's her. That's definitely true. I just hope she has time to hear us out. So you don't think the Queen will talk to you? Even when my family was in good standing, it was tough to get an audience with her. And now, well, she's very busy, you know? Yeah, you're just a commoner. I get it. I get it. I know what it's like to be down here in the mud. Sneered upon from above. Safe journeys. I'll begin preparations for the summit. So, pretty clear plan. And what are we going to do here? We're going to get everyone together, get them united. I still want to do something with the Pact. And, hit Morgemoth hard. Morgemoth hasn't just woken up, but he's doing a lot of things too, which is quite interesting. Now, what route do I want to do? We could do the Ebonhawk route, I suppose. I mean, when we were with the Vigil, we did do a tour of duty here. We could just go north through Blazed Ridge. I mean, these are definitely rare places of the game that there really wasn't much core story to explore. And Blaze Ridge Steps in particular is one of my favourite maps in the whole game. It was one of the first ones they ever made, as I've mentioned before. The earliest demos demonstrating Guild Wars 2 had, like, that map in it. It was the very first, like, so to speak, high-level map they ever made. So there's tons of detail and it's really, really fun and gets me extremely nostalgic when I run through. So yeah, I'm going to go that in that direction. Yeah, so we get everyone together. We get the Pact involved, hopefully, as well. And we hit the dragon hard because it is doing things. It's interesting, and I think the game will go into this a little bit more soon. There's an idea of, like, various levels of activities for Elder Dragons. So we know that they sleep, right? We know that they, in general, wake up, consume a ton of magic until there's none left. They destroy all living civilizations in general in the process, reduce the world to a little more than a husk, and then they fall asleep, and the magic over the next 10,000 years slowly leaks out. Communities become reliant upon it, and then the Elder Dragons awaken and take it away from them again. And that's the cycle, right? So we know they sleep, we know they're awake. But within being awake, there seem to be other levels to it as well. For example, when you look at Kralkatorrik, until this new dragon, Kralkatorrik was the newest one to have awoken, right? 5 years before the game. And what did he do the second he woke up? He created the brand. Look at Zaitan. What did he do the second he woke up? He created massive tidal waves that destroyed tons of people and raised an entire continent from the ocean floor, right? There's an idea that the second a dragon wakes up, it seems to do a lot of stuff. And the question is this Morgemoth's version of that? And I also like to wonder, you know, if that is a thing, what did the deep sea dragon do when it woke up? Because again, aside from that vision we had in the machine a moment ago, we really don't know exactly when that dragon woke up, and we really don't know exactly what that dragon's been doing ever. The reason we don't know when we woke up is because it hasn't interacted much. So did it destroy a bunch of things just far away from us where we can never tell? Maybe some of these distant continents we saw in Guild Wars 1, like Cantha or Elona? Are there the signs of the deep sea dragon's movements there, but we just haven't been able to communicate? That's another cool topic as well. We are far enough forward in the timeline with Zaitan having been defeated that the questions of those continents are starting to get a bit weird. Okay, so when the game came out, the devs said this, that we weren't in communication with Cantha or with Elona because any ships that tried to travel past Ore around the Strait of Malcor would just be devoured and destroyed, and it was all cut off. But this is okay-ish now. You know, there's still going to be some Risen ambling around. They introduced the idea of the Karka. Maybe that's a bit of a hostile issue. But there should be trade lanes and things starting up now. And yet we get nothing but mysterious silence, really. You know, we still have Divinity's Reach where you can hear people in, like, the Canthan district. Well, not the Canthan district, but, like, the Ossen Quarter talking about Elona. and the fact that we're split up and we're disconnected. But those maps are kind of set at an earlier point in time, no? So there's a real question of what's going on there that you can wonder about. But I'll just tell you now, Season 2 isn't going to go into, all right? But that idea of, like, what the big dragons do when they wake up, if they're particularly energetic, is a curious one. The other one that's kind of interesting is Jormag, right? Eye of the North, we saw Primordus, like, stir, but not actually wake up. And just by stirring, he set off all these earthquakes. Well, what about the moment he did wake up? The moment Primordus did wake up was between the two games. And we don't know, really. It's not like a bunch of volcanoes suddenly became active. It's not like a bunch of new stuff appeared. Maybe you can say the Steam Spur Mountains, which is technically like a different name to the Shiver Peaks now, even though the biome isn't that interesting. There was some lore before the game came out talking about that being very steamy and misty. And, you know, like Mount Maelstroms appeared there. Maybe that's sort of Primordus stuff, but it's not quite the same as the brand or creating ore, is it? Or whatever this Morgemoth thing might now be wanting to do. So I don't know about him. Jormag, we really don't have much. Just blizzards, the Norn get pushed south. And then there's the Deep Sea Dragon, where we have really nothing. Before the game came out, in the Movement of the World article, they did talk about, like, tentacles coming from water and horrible, scary things. But they've never been in the game or really shown in the game. Whatever they were going for there, the devs never ended up implementing. And so there are really almost no stories or glimpses at the Deep Sea Dragon. Just a couple, like the thing at Zone Blue that the Inquest were dealing with. Like, the Inquest clearly knows something. But we just don't get much. Just horror stories and fear. That's it. So yeah, anyway, all right, I'm going to keep traveling through Blaze Ridge. Ducking under the Shatterer. Speaking of the brand, here we are at the friggin' place. And Ulfric's going to head on as far north as he possibly can very soon. And we'll see you guys in just a moment. Let's do it. Oh, the game's taken me here. I could have gone through Plains of Ashford. We could have done like something like this. Instead, we're doing this. I think my way is quicker for sure. Yeah, this has been the quickest way. All right, so back into Plains of Ashford, the starter map. So a quick reminder as well, if you need it. I mentioned them in the last episode. This place is obviously plagued not just by the brand, but the ghosts of Ascalon are around here too. This is actually where Ascalon catacombs are. We saw Air herself was here not too long ago, trying to recover a sword to give to Logan. Sorry. And of course, they are scary places if you go too near to where the humans once lived. Wow, amazingly, I seem to have this waypoint instantly for some reason. All right, I'll take it. I don't know why. That's not got anything to do with all the waypoint story right now. That's just some weird effect in the game. I've never experienced that. That's so strange. I was allowed to just skip over here. That's very weird. It's an odd interaction. Entering this map for the first time from this side, that is weird. Most people obviously would enter from the Black Citadel. Or, as eventually happened, the devs opened up the initial waypoint in every map. I've talked about that before. All right, okay, so Iron Marches. Great. Now, this is a cool map. Again, there wasn't too much personal story here before. There's the Searing Ritual dynamic event we looked at, all these cool things. And now there's going to be another layer to the map, because indeed there are Mordrum here. This was another one of the little things I was trying to pay attention to when we were exploring this area of the world before, to avoid catching too much of a glimpse of just how much Mordrum there are in this map. Now, you're going to see it as we move north. We're going to have to go to lots of different hot spots where, unfortunately, Mordrum have been kicking up a ruckus. So here we go. Check it out. As we breach this area, that's just a Flame Legion egg thief. Don't worry about the Flame Legion for now. Check it out. We come to Monga's Sink, and off in the background there, you see that wall? That's not a cliff. Look more closely at it. Yeah, those are vines. Big vines. Bigger than we've seen anywhere before. Forming these massive sweeping arches. Really crazy. So we'll grab the waypoint here at this little fishing village and move on. Guild Wars isn't a game with a fishing feature. As of yet, I don't know. I mean, maybe as we go forward, they'll do one. They've done various events and things every now and then, and there are fishers. And, well, they're used to it here. Like, there's some here. There used to be lots of them just hanging out and enjoying themselves. Now, everyone's kind of wounded. Look at this. Blood Legion, injured. And what are they injured from? This is the regular, normal, open world from the Mordrum back there. That's what's going wrong here. There's still some other events, maybe. You can see I'm in range of a dynamic event to kill a big wolf right now. And the devs do a cool thing here where they integrate the events into everything else. Check it out. We're being hailed over by this person. Sabinus Rainfire. Hello. You don't want to go out there. Vicious plants are sprouting up everywhere. We're doing our best to hold them off, but it's not enough. I'm here to help. Great, we need it. Find the soldiers tasked with exterminating those things and help them wherever possible. Okay, can do. I spoke with Alias Wrenblood. She's in deep. Start there. Once you overcome the creatures in her area, and I know you will, she'll direct you to the next soldier who needs backup. I'm on my way. Wait, is this Char doing this because they know we're the pack commander, or just because, you know, that's how the Char treat each other? Like, look at these guys. They want to get out on an escort, it feels like, but they can't. Our Doliak got hurt pretty bad. Damn vine sprouted up from the ground and tried to drag the poor girl away. Any idea why it attacked your Doliak? Not sure, but now we're stuck here until she's healed enough to travel. We had to send our runner ahead with the package. I hope he makes it back to the Priory in one piece. Package? Artifacts, you know, Demon Priory discoveries and like. That's all I can say. Understood. Again, people moving magic and getting in trouble. Those plant things just won't quit. I guess that's what we get for volunteering for to transport artifacts. PR Doliak took the worst of it. The creatures are after your artifact. For whatever reason, we can't shake them. It's like they can sense it. We were bringing the artifact back to Priory headquarters before a horde of them wounded our yak. Alright, so there you have it. And you can get lots of little bit of dialogue around. I'll try to do that as best as possible. As people deal with this disaster. So this is quite a clever set of implementation here from the devs. Because what they've done is they've added new story in the open world to an old map, which is not asking you to play specific isolated instances. It's asking you to beat real dynamic events that everyone can see, no matter where you are, right? So these two events, to stop the tendrils from corrupting the Iron Marches, and this one here, to defeat the Gravelash and its cluster of tendrils in the next 10 minutes. Anyone can come and participate and do these. So imagine that it's release day and there are zergs and zergs of players everywhere, hundreds of them running around, instantly trying to complete these events. Well, how do you get progress? How do they do it in a clean way so you're not sitting around waiting for new stuff? And the devs genuinely did it really well. Maybe there were a couple of bugs here or there, but it was very good. And it also has to work now when I'm a lone guy that's come along many patches later. Does it still work? And it does. So here, Alias Wrenblood. Hey, you see the flamethrowers? Grab one and start burning those walking bushes down. What are they? Part of a balanced meal? How should I know? Don't ask stupid questions, soldier. Now grab a thrower and torch them. See, I think they're just treating me like the Char. Alright, so we get a flamethrower. Don't really need to use our own skills here, I don't think. I mean, here's the thing, though. Yeah, so this guy is Tough Vines. Takes less damage from regular attacks, but more flamethrower damage. That's the idea. And it's also a tendril, so it has the stability thing. The red button says, do not press written on it. Does it blow my thing up? Should we see? I'm going to press the red button. It's like some Dexter's Lab stuff there. Okay, well, it didn't really seem to do much damage. It set me on fire. Also, you'll notice that the conditions I applied to it with my short bow there were draining off really quickly. And Beartooth can't really do much damage either. This is actually really nasty. This is a real struggle just killing a couple of these right now. There's 2 more tendrils remaining. I think once we've killed all of the tendrils, the main husk will be damageable. And hopefully damageable in like a regular kind of way. I'll be a bit frustrated to find that we have to flamethrower it down as well. This event is on a time limit. There's like only a few minutes left. And if we mess it up, then, well, that's not going to be too good. Somehow I just hit that tendril for 2,000 damage. Did you see that? I'm not sure what it was that I did that with. Anyway, we'll just keep going. Maybe it's if you get all the ticks of the flamethrower on, because we're really not hitting hard with it. I guess the flamethrower probably does scale with our stats and does more damage if we were a bit stronger. But obviously, the season is going to get harder for us as we go along. So he has tough skin, stability, and might. But there's nothing here to suggest to me that I need to kill him with the flamethrower. Yeah, so we can just condition him like normal. Beautiful. All right, okay, yeah. So we do 25%, and then he phases. And I think he's going to spawn more tendrils. He's going to try and knock us away. He's got a thorn shield. Removes all conditions upon application. Yeah, all right. So now we have to kill his tendrils again. Also, he's just entangled us, which is very annoying. Maybe, I mean, we're probably going to run out of time. The new user interface feature means that while doing this event, I can't see the progress of the event. I really don't like that. Maybe I should customize it as we go further forwards. And I do feel a bit scared that we're going to run out of time. So I'm just going to try and like AoE or something. I don't know. We have stability, so we're not going to get knocked away or anything. Maybe I should do something that gives me more might. Maybe there. Look. See, we did like 20,000. We did like 2,000 damage suddenly and just nuked one of them. Did you guys see that? I think I might die. Honestly, I'm really scared. There, it did it again. Is it just the end of the skill? If I'm far away, it does a lot of damage. Is it Alson is able to hit him really hard? It looks like Alson can hit him really hard. It looks like Alson's actually hitting way harder than me here. Like, he's doing like 700, 700 every time he does his like special attack. Maybe not using the flamethrower would be the better way, but I'm playing mostly conditions, and they're definitely resistant to conditions. All right, okay, this is the next phase. The thing is, we've got so many phases to do. I don't know. This feels a bit lame right now. I've got to get behind him as well. That's it. He phased again already. The other serious problem is I'm low. I'm really low on health, and I'm not going to be able to deal with this too quickly here. So look, that's what just attacking it feels like. I mean, it's pretty good. Beartolf's definitely hitting hard. Beast Mastery seems to be okay. Is this faster than using a flamethrower, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't think it is faster. But it's a real struggle. Well, this is just going to be the same phase again, guys. So I will see you in a second. We'll speed up. Look at this guy just standing here. Help out! Look, there's 2 people. Never mind. Maybe we'll get it done really quickly. They need to know to attack the right thing, though. They need to attack not the scale. All they've done is aggro scale over and now attack the scale. They're trying to kill an invulnerable husk in the middle of the room. They haven't looked at what's going on. And now they've been immobilized and they don't know how to cleanse it. Come on, players. You can figure it out. Kill the tendrils. That's it. All right, so this player here is trying to hit it. Dude, why am I still the only one taking all the damage? All right. There's still one more tendril over there. I've been immobed and I have no cleanse available. Does he get it? I think he's going to get it. I don't think I need to do the flamethrower. Okay, good. All right, cool. So then he's going to phase again. And so you'll see like a mechanic here where they phase in this way. It means that even if you have like 1 million players around. There you go. I think the event just ended. Oh, no. Did it end? Oh, we just got to double phase him, maybe? Oh, we got it. I had no idea that would work. All right, cool. So we got it. Are you happy with that now? Rend blood?
Talk to me.
So I hear that thing was a Mordrum. Now I understand why everyone's scrambling for samples. Hey, Brutus Rendflesh is collecting samples nearby. I'd get in on that if I were you. Maybe. Maybe you'll let me keep a sample. Okay, cool. So we move on. Now, over here is another event. I don't think this one's related to the story. Maybe it is. But he just, like, patrols up and down. He's a champion and very tricky to fight. Nothing really too complicated in terms of mechanics, but he's dangerous. Meanwhile, we're going to go up north. It's not just this one little area of the map with all the vines. These scary, scary vines. I wonder if we can see if they've snagged some char and got some char kills. It's loads of the map. I mean, even look at the ground, right? Look at the ground texture. It's all very, very, very different now. So we will move up north and see who else we can speak to. And we will continue this adventure next time, guys. And hopefully then get to the world leaders, as long as everyone else's job is going well. Oh, dear. Doesn't look very good, does it? Not good at all. See you there, guys.